Welcome to another Plugin ID video post. I'm Brett, and I'm here to ask you, the reader, another question. Or really a first question. Anyway, all that aside, let's get started. My question for you guys today is on goal setting. Is it important? Is it useful? Or does it really just destroy your life? That's a little bit of a hyperbolic statement, but trust me, goals can be really bad for you if they're not done right. So there are pretty much two different schools of goal setting, and I'll borrow the names for the respective schools from some popular bloggers. On one side is the Chris Guillebeau School of Goal Setting, and on the other side is the Jonathan Meade School of Goal Setting. So I want to ask you guys what you think about goal setting and what kind of systems you guys use in order to get things done and accomplish your goals, or if it's even worth it to set goals in the first place. So, first up, the Chris Guillebeau method, or the school of goal setting. Basically, your traditional goal setting system. What Chris does is he ends up conducting an annual review, and what he basically does is he writes all his goals down, and he just tracks them during the year, and they're a mix between short-term and long-term, and they all have to be trackable with different metrics, so quantifiable goals, and he tries his best to meet them. And it's pretty simple. He tracks them over long-term, and every quarter of the year he ends up doing a little quarterly review, and at the end of the year in December he does a big giant annual review. And this is pretty much the Chris Guillebeau school. I mean, you don't have to do it just like him, but if you believe in long-term goal setting and using your goals to get things done, that's pretty much where you fall. You fall with Chris. And the Jonathan Meade School is pretty much saying, to hell with goals, we don't need them. Goals just end up owning you, because the more and more you try to reach your goals, the more time they suck out of your life, whether or not you actually want to do the goals, if like independently of whether they're goals or not. So basically, you end up spending your time doing things that you wouldn't normally do if they weren't your goals. And that's pretty much what happens when you pursue your goals. Well, at least that's what Jonathan thinks. I'm kind of in the middle between him and Chris. But that's pretty much what Jonathan thinks. He thinks, just screw goals, pursue what you really like to do, don't worry about obsessive stat tracking and trying to optimize your goals and spending all your time on your goals when you could be doing stuff you enjoy. And basically that's it. So we're going to backtrack a little bit, and I'm going to do a little bit of compare and contrast with these two. So Chris Guillebeau School, advantages. You have awesome tracking ability. I mean, you can just put everything on a spreadsheet. It can track your goals very effectively, which also allows you to track your progress really well. Like if you get better at doing a habit, it'll be reflected on the spreadsheet, which I think is really, really cool. I'm kind of a stat geek, so that's a really awesome advantage for me. Another thing that's great about Chris's system is that it allows you to have like pinpoint laser focus. It's awesome. When you just take a look at your goals list and you're like, okay, I have to do this, 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 and this, and then you cut out all the extraneous things and you just focus on your goals. It's a beautiful thing when you can do that. And when I used to do these big annual reviews, that's what I did. I would just do everything. I would just look at my goals list. I would just go boom, 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 check everything off, do like projections, and base my activities on a day, whether I'd meet my long-term goals and stuff like that. And those are pretty much the two main advantages. I go into a little bit more detail in the post, but those are really the two big ones. Oh, and another one, whenever you finish a long-term goal, it feels awesome. It's awesome. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Disadvantages. You lose all your time to your goals. If you're obsessive, like me, about reaching your goals, you end up dedicating every waking hour you have to reaching your goals, and you end up not relaxing at all. Of course, I know that's not what Chris does. What Chris actually does as a safeguard to this is he has a Sabbath day between like the evening on Saturday and the evening on Sunday, so he takes one day off completely from work. But for me, my goals aren't work, my goals are life. And what ends up happening is that things get out of whack, and they make problems for me. Like, I can't relax. I'll make goals out of relaxing, and then that just makes it not relaxing, which is more of a problem of mine and not a problem of goals itself. but I know other people out there are like me. I know there are other crazy people out there. And then we get to and that's really the big disadvantage. Like, your goals end up owning you. It happens to me all the time. But Jonathan Mead School, pros and cons. Major advantages. You get to do what you like. One of the biggest epiphanies for me and what taught me to like really let go of goals is basically the fact that if you have to write something down on a to-do list, or which is ironic considering I use a to-do list, or you have to like write something down to make it a goal, in order to remember it, then you don't care about that thing at all. It's not important. Like, if you have to actually write things down and like look at a spreadsheet later in order to, you know, remember it, oh, I gotta do this, this is important, it's not important. It's totally irrelevant. And in this way, you only do the things that you remember, which are really the things that you're really interested in. So you get to focus on your passions, and that's really the big thing. Another thing is that your goals don't end up owning you, so guess what you have time to do? Relax. Huge thing for me. I'm still working on relaxing more outside of just meditation, which I use as a great practice, and which is probably, I've kind of used it as a crutch to help me relax, but not do it too much. So pretty much my only relaxation time comes when I'm sleeping and when I'm meditating, and that's it. And all other times I'm working, from pretty much the time I wake up, shower, eat, go to school, and then from the time I come home, I do work. But I love the work I do when I'm at home, not so much the stuff at school, although I still do well. And this video is getting really long, so I hope YouTube will let me upload it. But the cons of the system is that you lose that laser focus and you lose that sense of gratification whenever you finish a goal, which is kind of disappointing, but I think they're acceptable losses. Of course, I mean, these are really two polar opposites. On one hand, you got goals, and on the other hand, you have absolutely no goals. And basically in the Jonathan Mead School, you still have goals, except, you know, you just don't like write them down and obsess over them and track your stats for them. They just exist up here, and you kind of remember them, and you just do what's important to you. So I kind of use a hybrid system. I do a mixture of the two. On one hand, I don't like having obsessive goals, but on the other hand, I don't like not having goals to keep me focused, if that makes any sense. So I made a compromise. I list all my projects online on Evernote and in this nice action book. This is a sample to-do page. You can get these kind of notebooks for to-do lists, like you get the action steps here. But you can get these at Behance or creativesoutfitter.com. They're really cool. I list all my projects here, what to get done, and I tick off the boxes as I complete them. But I don't make it, like I make it a goal to finish the project, but the sheer fact that I list things as a project means I get it done. And for my daily to-do list, and you can't see it because I haven't really made a to-do list for today, it's all up here, is in this little notebook that I carry with me in my back pocket. And it's called an Action Kai here. So you can buy these things at creativesoutfitter.com. Those are the things I use to kind of make goals but not make goals, if that makes any sense. Anything that I finish on my anything that I don't finish, sorry, on my daily to-do list actually ends up going on my to-do list for the next day. So I just leave it blank, and then I just do it the next day. It becomes the highest priority item the next day. So everything gets done, and there's always tomorrow. So I don't beat myself up if I don't get something done. So I want to ask you guys where you stand. Do you embrace kind of like a hybrid to-do list sort of system like I do? Do you like having no goals like Jonathan Mead? Or are you a big fan of the giant annual review, or just goal setting in general, which is what Chris Guillebeau really advocates? So let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say, because everyone has a totally different opinion on this. It's really mind-blowing. And the people who I think should be goal setters are not, and the people who I think are definitely not goal setters are. It boggles my mind. So check it out. Let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions for any future posts, let me know, because I'm here for you guys. And keep the faith, spread the love, and keep doing great work, guys. See you next time.